calling back, and what are we doing? We're calling the Edward T. Martin Show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're calling the show right now.
Dude, you totally rock, man.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful, it's a beautiful thing to be living in America and that we can be part of the democratic process.
It is. It is.
It doesn't matter. I mean, honest to God, does not matter whether you're in the red state or the blue state or a red state of mind. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
All that matters is that we have the opportunity to get out there and we can actually voice our opinion, and we're not going to, be hurt by it.
Right. Right.
We can actually do that. It's really cool, and it was really neat just kind of being part of that. It's kind of funny because I'm 41 years old, and that was the first caucus I've ever attended.
Well, this is good. Tell me a little bit more then. What was that all about? When you got there, what was happening? How did this work?
Oh, okay, well, good. I thought maybe you were going to ask me something deeper, like why haven't I gone to caucuses for 20 years? And I couldn't tell you that. I mean, we'd have to get into a really deep psychological discussion there. But it was really neat because I showed up. Of course, it's at a school, and they often are. And there was a huge line, and everybody was really organized. And you went into wherever your precinct was, and you signed your name down, and you put down who it was that you were voting for.
Yep.
Or you could vote. You could put down undecided if you so chose.
Nice.
And then everybody kind of gets together, and they start having this big talk. And the people that are undecided, of course, both parties are trying to pull them either way, and then they kind of make up their minds, and then we can just kind of go from there.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Wow. What in that? You bring up something that I wanted to talk about. I sit at work all week, and I work on a computer. Like I said, I work at a software company, and I get these thoughts that float into my head, and I think, man, that'd be a good thing to talk about. And we've hit one of them, and I'm so glad we have. And that is, Letterman's got the top 10 list and these kind of things. I wanted to hit a top 10 gratitude list today.
I think that, I think that's great.
Yeah, and you, I think you've just hit on, like one of the first ones that'll certainly. I don't even know if I'll put 10 or some kind of list in order or anything, but one of them certainly is, just we forget a lot of times about the things that we have to be grateful for. Just the fact that we're living in the United States, that we can do that. We don't have Hugo Chavez on national television telling us what to do and telling us like, hey, I'm going to take all your money and I'm going to destroy the economy and start a battle with the United States. It's a democratic process. And if you think it's not, think again.
Well, I have a really good friend of mine, incredibly close friend of mine, a guy I really look up to a lot.
Yeah.
And I used, whenever I kind of start getting into my complaining about life mode.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, I do.
I know you don't really do that, but I know people that do that, right?
Yes, there are.
Anyway, he would sit there and he would look at me and he'd tell me, he'd say, Evan, go to Calcutta.
Nice.
And you know what? I went to Calcutta.
For reals?
For real.
Wow.
And I can tell you right now, we've got it going on here in the U.S. of A.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty limited in my travels. The only time I've been out of the country is to Windsor, Canada, which is directly across from Detroit, so it's technically Canada. But, and the only other time besides that is I went to Mexico, and I went to Playa del Carmen, which is a tourist resort, and doing the touristy thing. But my friend Kevin and I waded into town there, and we wanted to just see what life was like for the locals as much as we could. And I was like, you know what, man, we so have it made in the United States. I'm like, wow. I forget. It's I don't know. It's not like these gigantic stories of abject poverty like there is in Calcutta, I'm sure. But I was just, it's just walking around and looking at seeing how people get by and what they do for work.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I mean, and it kind of goes back to the whole, red-blue thing. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
What really matters is that, we continue to live in a country where, you know what, if you really want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
you can. You really can do it.
Yeah, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to start looking at things more optimistically.
Yeah.
You got to start thinking more positively. Put out to the world that which you desire. That's why I'm sitting here right now. That's why I'm sitting here today, is I've been putting it out there for probably a year now.
Absolutely.
That, I started out by saying I want to use my voice and I want to do it for a living, and I want to just share that. I'm sure there's a lot of people are going, no, that's not something we'd like you to share. But I want to share that gift that I was given. People say you have a great voice, and I'm like, oh no, I don't. Leave me alone. And it's me not thinking positive. I started thinking positive.
Ed.
Yep.
Ed, you do have a good voice.
Oh, Masher. No, I know what you want. You guys are all the same.
You do. You do.
Buddy, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to try to get some more calls. Oh, okay. Wow. And I will get to those calls right after we hear some messages made by some other people with good voices. Evan, so great to talk to you. Thanks for calling in.
You too, Ed. Take care,
All right, brother. See you later.
Bye-bye.
At the football game, Jim shows the telltale signs of being wasted. He attempts to high-five everyone on the way to his section, spilling his $10 beer everywhere. Back in his seat, he screams, "Defense!" His friends remind him it's halftime. He takes off his shirt and starts flexing for the camera. He refers to his muscles as gunboats. Jim screams, "How's this for a halftime show?" He tells the story about the time he flexed for the halftime show. His friend informs him that it just happened. To redeem himself, he streaks the field. Jim makes it to midfield before being tackled. The Jumbotron captures it all.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many to drive. But what if you've had just one too many to drive? Never underestimate just a few. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
Yeah, right on. Right on. Hey, did you hear that last public service announcement? You know who that was? Any guesses? My guess would be Don LaFontaine. Don LaFontaine is one of the friends that will be showing up here periodically. Now, if you don't recognize that name, you'll recognize the voice, because Don is the guy that's done every single movie trailer. A movie trailer is the preview you see before the movie, since perhaps 1978 is my guess. And if you're not as filled up with Don as I am, you're not listening, because Don does this. In a world where the rules were not to be broken, one man would break them all. With the woman he loved and their 2 kids, they would learn a lesson from the ancient master. The lesson from the elders who were the wise ones. And the evil master had to be defeated. Paramount Pictures present. Recognize that voice? Yeah. That is every single movie trailer that's been made since 1978. Thanks, Don. Don's a good guy, I'm sure, but I'm tired of hearing him.